This is bad for the Houston Texans. This is not good. This is atrocious. The Houston Texans have fallen to 0-3 after a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and many Texans fans are asking whether right now is the time to hit the panic button. And I'm going to give you all the details of what was said after yesterday's game, as well as is it that time is now a good time to pretty much say wrap it up on the season. I'm going to give you all those details right here on Texans Digest, your source for the latest news, rumors, and updates regarding your H-Town team, the Houston Texans. And it has not been a good 3 weeks for the Texans. You lose to the Rams in what was a winnable game. You lose to the Buccaneers in what was definitely a winnable game. And you lose to your division rival, the Jacksonville Jaguars, in what was a winnable game. A game that could have been won by these Texans if Nico Collins did not fumble, C.J. Stroud did not throw a pick, if the defense could have just one last stop. We're going to get to all the details of what we saw this past Sunday right here in this video. And we're going to go straight into some quotes from none other than C.J. Stroud, who had some stuff to say about the team, saying that we're really close. That's the problem. We just keep getting, reiterating that we're close. Now it's the time to fix the issues that they had on Sunday, which was the entire offense, which was the wide receivers, which was the offensive line, throwing picks, whatever have you. He continues to say, so the message is just we're going to keep having these results if we don't finish, if we don't take care of the ball, and just do the small things. The effort's there, the physicality, it's just the execution, although I could contend on the effort, because what we're seeing out there, if that is the effort, is that if that's your full effort, then this is going to be a long season for the Houston Texans. You can say goodbye to what is a comeback, so far an improbable comeback, and making a run for the division title and making it to the playoffs. Now, I do think it's possible. I do think this team played not great. They did play two really good teams, it looks like, in the beginning of the season, so a little bit of grace there. But as of right now, this offense is not looking like an NFL offense. It is not the offense we hoped it would be when we brought in Nick Caley to be the offensive coordinator this season. I'm going to give you more of these C.J. Stroud quotes, as he says right here, of what cost them the game. He said, penalties are part of us, knowing that we're better, but also we can play a lot better. I could play a lot better. Our defense has been holding up, which credit to the defense. I mean, the defense has been showing up every single game for the most part. I can't blame anything on the defense, but I digress. We continue. We got to be able to help them. It's not easy, but yeah, we just got to do better. And very simply put, of course, this team has got to do better, but at the same time, this team is just making far too many mistakes. I understand it's the beginning of the year, but this team is making mistakes that the Cleveland Browns would usually make on any given season. This is a team that has yet to find itself with revamping its offensive line and with the struggles that we have had in terms of that and just not being able to figure it out. Injuries have plagued this team. Joe Mixon has been out. Some offensive linemen are out. Christian Kirk had his first game back against his former team. Good to have him. He had a clutch fourth down catch towards the end of the game. But at the same time, this offense just cannot figure anything out. And C.J. Stroud gave another quote about what to do now. 0-3, not a lot going on your side. He said, we gotta just keep going forward. Everybody's gonna talk crazy like they've been doing and have these analysis. And rightfully so. That's the NFL. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. We got to be able to stay together, stick together, stay as a family, stay as a brotherhood, and try to get these things fixed. And I understand this is very similar to what he said after the Week 1 loss. This is very similar to what he said after the Week 2 loss. And now here he is again saying this about the Week 3 loss. Whether or not that gets done, you are still 0-3 at the end of the day. The Colts are 3-0. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-1, and they have a game on you. And the Titans, thankfully, have lost every game as well. Next week, if this team loses to the Titans, you can officially hit the panic button. You can call the season over. 0-4, two division rivals or losses. It's not looking good for the Texans. It's not looking good at all. The offensive line, Ariante Ursary was starting at, I believe, right tackle. Had a very tough Week 1, switched over to left tackle where he usually plays, where he played in college, still struggled. Again, he's a rookie. He's still figuring out his game. But he also struggled, and he had a lot to say about this as well. He said, man, I take responsibility. I didn't play up to the standard, and that ain't going to never do it. I got to be way better. So just keep my process the same, but just work way harder and push myself to the limits. And hope that everything just turns out good for me. And I certainly hope it does. I hope this offensive line can figure it out. I don't expect them to be the best offensive line in the NFL. I don't expect them to even be good. I just expect them to give CJ Stroud enough time to play and to develop. Now, there's a lot of been finger pointing about whether or not CJ Stroud is at fault for all of these things. I don't think so. I mean, CJ Stroud, there are things that he can do better, absolutely, but I don't see this as a CJ Stroud problem. I see this as a play calling problem, and I see this as an offensive lineman problem, as well as the rushing attack, which has been god awful, which has just been terrible. Nick Chubb, 9 carries. Woody Marks, 6 carries. That's 15 carries, and they combine for what was, 65 yards together. That's your rushing attack, and I understand they went into this game with a heavy passing focus, but you got to have some run game. You can't have absolutely no run game. I mean, 4.2 yards per carry, 4.5 yards per carry isn't bad, but at the same time, when you only rack up 87 yards and 22 of those were your quarterbacks, that is not setting a good foundation for your offense. It's not giving C.J. Stroud enough ability to make things happen when the defense is just expecting a pass play after pass play after pass play. Like, I don't understand what this offense is doing, especially on a 3rd and 1, and you're just trying to get 1 yard where you decide to air it out, and then it results in a pick in the end of the game. And so this team has failed to make opportunities for itself. I feel like this offense cannot get going unless something opposite them makes them happen, right? So we saw that with the interception from the Texans defense, in which right after quickly CJ Stroud was able to hit Nico Collins for like a 50-yard touchdown, capitalizing on momentum. But this team cannot seem to create any momentum. We didn't see that at all during yesterday's game. They could not score. They could not get into the red zone. They just could not do a lot of things offensively unless the Jaguars kind of gave it to them on a silver platter. And then they did it again until Nico Collins had a very awful fumble, which as much as we trust him with the ball, as much as we want him to have the ball, just simply cannot happen. I'm going to take you to what DeMeco Ryans has said about this team in his media, as he's quite frustrated, kind of downplaying things a little bit, but as every coach should do, don't need to hit the panic button for your team. You gotta want to make sure that you get your guys on the same page. But he said this, he said, of course we want to play better offensively, right? We just got it. We're all sticking together. We got to find a way to make sure we figure it out, and we will, because I know we have the right people, we got the right staff, we got the right players. We just got to figure it all out, and we got to show it. It's not me saying that. We just got to go show it, and that's when we'll see improvement again. And once again, I don't doubt this team will improve as the season progresses. I just want to make sure that this team is better than the teams it plays, right? Like, if next week, again, if you lose to the Tennessee Titans, who has a rookie that is their starting quarterback, an 0-3 Tennessee Titans at home, mind you, if you lose that game, that is going to have detrimental consequences on this team. You have to start looking at coaching. You got to start looking at players. What is going wrong? What is this team missing? And right, and it's so frustrating. Part of it, what makes it so frustrating, is that this team should not be 0-3. They should have won last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They should have won this week by finishing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The LA Rams game, that's a bit of a toss-up. They are a very, very good team. I do think that was winnable, but it was a game that I feel like the Rams had control of for the most part. But the Texans could very easily have 2 wins under the belt, but now they are in a 3-game hole in the AFC South, which is definitely not where you want to be, right? Tied for 3rd, and 3rd is 0-3. DeMeco Ryans even commented about the fumble. The Nico Collins fumble late in the 4th quarter that cost us the game. He says, quote, referring to Nico Collins, he knows it. He hates it more than anyone else to have the ball taken away from him there. So that was tough. We felt the momentum shift there when we hit the big touchdown, and we're driving down, and we're in a position to drive and score again. And you give the ball away right in the plus territory in the red zone. That's hard. And watching this live, I could just feel the game turn for the worse. Like, this game felt like after the Nico Collins touchdown and after the defense was able to get the ball back to the offense, that the Texans were in the driving seat for themselves. The only way the Texans could have lost that game is if they shot themselves in the foot, and that is exactly what happened. And the Trevor Lawrence, the Jacksonville offense took advantage of that. And so this team has got to stop shooting itself in the foot, like it did week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams when Wale fumbled. Just like in week 2 when the defense failed to make a tackle on 4th and 10 against Baker Mayfield, who has been balling this season, and failed on week 3, fumbling and a potential game a winning touchdown late in the 4th quarter. And so this team continues to shoot itself in the foot. And so you have to wonder, why is that? What is going on throughout the week that is not preparing these guys for these moments? And Nico Collins is not shying away from this. He understands that he's got to be better. He said this. He said, I have just got to take care of the ball. That's it. Good punch out by him. That's on me. I appreciate the taking of the responsibility from him here, but I just want to see this team to take those steps and not making just costly, careless mistakes in the 4th quarter, in the most important drive of the entire game. The most important drive, and having these plays kind of stack up on each other and being the result of a loss. And so that is just frustrating as a Texans fans, because I feel like we've been in this kind of circular motion of this happening constantly, overs and overs and overs again, and can't seem to get out of that rut. And so I hope this is the end of the losing streak. I hope that we can get in the win column against the Tennessee Titans next week. I hope that this team can, in fact, figure it out, because this team does have a lot of talent. This team does have what it takes to win the AFC South. It's going to be an uphill climb. I am right now not counting them out, but if we lose to the Titans next week, all bets are off, really and truly. A loss to the Titans is very detrimental, and then you still have to play a 3-0 Colts, possibly going to be 4-0 Colts, as well as the Chiefs, as well as the Bills, as well as the Ravens. 2-3 very, very good teams that we have not really beaten much in the past, save for the Buffalo Bills early last season. And so a lot to be talked about, and there's so much more to get through, but that does it for today's video. We're going to have more videos for you about the Houston Texans and how they're preparing for a pivotal week 4 matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Again, this is going to be a key indicator of how this season is going to go. Is it going to be an uphill climb, or is it just going to be downhill from here? Stay tuned for those videos. Me and Mike have got you guys covered. And as always, if you have not yet subscribed and want to stay up to date on all of your Texans content, hit that subscribe button below. We will greatly appreciate it. But that wraps it up for this video. I am your host, Donovan Ricondo. We'll see you on the next one.